Welcome back again to UR Supreme Toys. This time we're going to be looking at Silverhawks Ultimate's Windhammer from Super7. So let's go ahead and pull him out of this shipper box. And just wow, they definitely took a turn with the villain packaging. It is red instead of the blue and it is phenomenal. I love that. That being said, the red box shows a little bit more scuffing than maybe the blue. But it is a very pretty ruby red. Let's go ahead and do a slip reveal. Ooh. Talk about teal. Whatever color he is. Look at that mug. Alright, this is what I'll say. Windhammer was far from my favorite character from the vintage cartoon. It just was weird. He felt out of place when compared to a lot of the other characters. But you know what? Some of the other mobsters were kind of out of place anyway. But I don't know. He just feels like he was shoved in here from a different line. But looking at him in the package, he looks pretty great. If there's one thing Super 7's good at is sculpting monsters. They're really good with their monster designs, and they're kind of weak on their humanoid figures. But wow, first impressions, he looks pretty great in the package. It actually goes pretty good with that red too. Let's turn it around. Got his holographic image on the back, as well as his bio. Windhammer, the Storm Master. Windhammer, the Storm Master of the villainous Limbo Mob, is one of Monstar's strongest followers. With one simple strike of his giant tuning fork, he can smash any close-range target. Windhammer's greatest asset is his ability to use his tuning fork to create weather attacks anywhere in Limbo. Space tornadoes, cyclones, and blizzards are all at his command. The only thing that matches his raw power is the unwavering loyalty to Monstar, which goes beyond a basic desire for money. One thing's for sure, the Silverhawks better not get blown away, because Windhammer is a force of nature to be reckoned with. Ooh, really hyping him up. He was a very prominent character in the show. So let's go ahead and pop him out. Okay, there is a lot going on with this guy. First off, he's not as tall as you would think he would be. He's actually a pretty short, stout character. Bring in Bluegrass right here, and you can see they're roughly the same height. Bring in Steel Wheel here. As you can see, they're roughly the same height. But he is stocky. He is a stocky boy. Now, the vintage figure did not have a cloth goods cape. It was just part of his sculpt. And I don't know, it was always weird that he just had this little flappy tunic. This is what I'll say. I was worried about it when they said that they would have a soft goods tunic for him. But they got this really felty material. It has a wonderful texture to it. It feels good to the hands. It's just, I don't know, it looks really good. I'm surprised and I'm happy. His hair is long. Look how whatever race or alien species this guy is, he is definitely the Chad of his planet, because this hair is gorgeous. His hair is sculpted better than a lot of the female character hairs from any other action figure line I've seen. Now that mug though, leaves something to be desired. But maybe his mom thinks he's handsome. Alright, let's see. Oh man, I just don't know where to start. I don't know where to start with this guy, because he comes with a lot. I'm very iffy about getting a solid grip on him. I don't want to mess up the tunic, because it does feel kind of soft. But let's see. I want to pop his head off real quick. Head pops off pretty good. If you look here on the back, the belt, I can't tell if the belt is glued together. I'm afraid to pull it. Alright, the belt is pegged into place. You can actually remove the belt. I was wondering if they were going to allow this as an option. And you can remove the belt, and the tunic is actually velcroed into place. Now, I'm not telling you you should mess with this, because you should definitely grab at the Velcro point and pull if you're going to. But I wanted to get a look at the articulation underneath the tunic. Why they put the peg for the belt right there, I don't know. I don't see why that would have been necessary. I feel like they had intended this to be glued into place, but it definitely wasn't. But it just gives you an idea of what's underneath. There is sculpting underneath. So he is sculpted very nicely. I don't see any paint wash on the body, but maybe that's my lighting. I think there's a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of paint wash in there. So if you wanted to display him without the tunic and just his belt, you could do that. That's just an option. I'm not going to bother pulling the tunic all the way off. I just wanted to see what it could do. So there is some crunch on the ab. There is no waist articulation. The ab crunch is all there is, but there isn't a lot there. Let me see if I can safely re-secure his tunic. I'm glad they did that, because there are a lot of people who probably want to customize this figure for some reason. And of course he has a hole cut here in the back of the tunic to line up with that peg hole. It can only go on one way. And then it wraps around and plugs into place. Pretty cool feature. He's got this glorious yelling head with his hair flowing through the air. There's an unsightly seam line right here through the middle with the mold, but from the back it's not going to be visible, and you're probably not going to see it very well when it's attached to the figure. So let me see if I can go ahead and pop this head on. Yep, pops on pretty easy. He has the shoulder swivel and hinge. He has a elbow, single jointed elbow, which also swivels, as well as the bicep swivel hidden behind the tunic. He's got big hands and big wrist articulation, so those hinge and swivel, and all this mirrors over to the other side. You're going to want to be careful when you're spreading his hips that you don't tear this tunic. You might want to loosen up this bottom seam if you want to do dynamic poses. But he does have the hip swivel and rotation, a single jointed knee, which does not get the 90 degree at all, but it also swivels. And then he's got this hinge and rocker ankles on these glorious looking feet. And I gotta say, his articulation is pretty stout, pretty good. It's not too tight, not too loose. His big giant wonkin' feet should make up for any stability issues, because he stands pretty easily. You just put him down and he stands. He comes with 8 extra hands. He's got 2 pointing fingers. He's got 2 vertical gripping hands. He has 2 horizontal gripping hands. He has 2 fists. And of course his 2 clawing hands attached to him in the package. That's a lot of hands. He comes with this magnificent giant tuning fork accessory. This is a plastic. It's pretty solid. I could see you breaking it if you really wanted to, but. And he comes with 3 accessories for it. This wind effect, which looks nice. This frost meteor effect, which is painted very well. There's a little bit of slop in there somewhere, but it looks great. And then he has this lightning effect. The only issue I see is potentially with this frost effect here. It's very heavy, and this tuning fork, although sturdy, I don't know. I think. Let's just see what happens. Oh, it fits over it very snug, and it holds very well. But there's going to be a lot of weight. You can see it bending. There's going to be a lot of weight put on that handle. So, you're going to make sure he's gripping it probably at both corners. but that looks really good. It fits on easily. Let's see how the wind effect does. This one looks great. This isn't a problem. It's not very heavy. It almost looks like a scythe now. But these accessories are phenomenal. And then his lightning effect. They fit on so well. And they're not too tight. They're not too loose. You don't have to fight with them. And these guys, this is great. So far, I gotta say, he was the sleeper of this wave. I was not really looking forward to Windhammer in any way, and I think he's great. This figure is pretty solid, pretty awesome. But let's see how he holds his accessory. He only has one. He only has one accessory, so we need to see how he holds it. Let's see, which hand should we do? Probably this one. And you can sort of mix and match the vertical and horizontal, so you can have his hands posed in a different way. Alright, let's try the heavy one. Let's see how he holds up with this heavy one. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, that's like trying to hold up a pole by the far end with one hand. Definitely heavy. This is definitely difficult for him to hold that heavy accessory on that end. Ugh. His elbows and shoulders just not strong enough. But it looks good. Let's see. Let's try the lightning. This should not be an issue. Yeah, he can do the lightning pretty good. He's pretty phenomenal. If his arms would have been a little tighter, it would have made all the difference. And then we'll try the wind accessory. Let's do it this way. And the fact that they gave him the wind-blown hair just makes it all the better, all the more dynamic. He looks great. I gotta say, I'm surprised how much I like him. Windhammer, definitely the winner for this wave so far. We haven't got to Monstar, but we're looking pretty good. He's got solid accessory count. His head sculpts are fantastic. His hair sculpts are fantastic. His accessories are fantastic. I was always a huge fan of the monsters from the show. Not so much him, but this figure has me changing my tune. Ning fork. That wasn't intentional, I promise. Anyway, I always thought the gimmick was weird. He's got a giant tuning fork, controls the weather. It's kind of weird, but you know what? It works. It works. It looks good. I'm giving this guy an A+. A+ for effort. This should have been a little bit lighter, but it still looks fantastic. If you can figure out a way to support the weight of it in your display, it'll be fine. But just using it as is, it's really heavy. But anywho, this has been an unboxing and review of Silverhawks Wave 2's Windhammer. And I am UR Supreme Toys. Thank you so much for watching.